Hi friends, welcome to IASN College Connect YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about Angular template driven form. Let's see what is template driven form. A template driven form in the Angular is a type of form where the form models is managed and bounded directly in the HTML template. Here you are going to write all the conditions in the HTML file only, and conditions and validations everything. So let's see how to implement the template driven form in the Angular. Here is I'm moving to this Visual Studio Code Angular projects. So this video is a continuation of the previous demo sessions. In previous demo sessions, we discussed about lot about Angular concepts and basic directives, what is interpolation operator and what is the property binding, everything. Here we are going to implement how to implement the template driven form. Template driven form. For that, I'm just going to create a form tag. Inside this form tag, I'm just going to create an input field. Input field type equal to text. Type equal to text. So then I'm going to give the naming for this particular input type, that is user name. Then I'm going to, so before we are going to proceed further, I'm going to create one model classes. So create a model classes, I'm just going to create ngC class and model slash registration. It is just like an entity file which we created in the Spring Boot to manage all the data transactions. Okay, so I'm just going to create a model slash register. It is going to create the register class inside the model folder. After I'm pressing enter, here you see model folder is get created. Inside this model folder, we are having two files. One is spec.tss. As of now, we don't require the spec.tss file. So I'm moving to this register file. Here I'm going to create all the variable. Okay, so first I'm going to create a register name, sorry, username. So which is going to be a string data type. Initially, I'm going to set it as empty, or else we can use the exclamatory symbol over here. Okay, so then that should be followed by password, and here it is also going to be a string data type. So then email, and it is also going to be a string data type. Then mobile number. Mobile number. Okay, so this is going to be a number type, right? Okay, so these are the field we are going to create in the register file. Now you see we are going to create an input field for this. Before that, we are going to inject this register file inside the TypeScript file, so that app dot in the inside this app dot component file, I'm just going to inject the register file, so that I'm just going to create a regi. So it is going to be a type of register. Okay, so here I'm going to create an object dependencies for this. Okay, so register. Now you see I'm going to use the ngModel to bound all the values which we receive from the HTML form to the TypeScript file through this register classes. Let's see how to implement it. Okay, so for that I'm just going to create ngModel, which is going to be a two-way data binding. So to use the ngModel, so you need to use one module inside this app.module.tss file, which is going to be a form module. I'm just going to import that first. Okay, so I'm just going to import forms module. Okay, right. Now you see, I'm just going to inject the values which is present on the register file. Okay, so already we injected inside the TypeScript file. Okay, so the dependencies, sorry, that is regi dot. Okay, so it's a username. As of now, I'm going to use only the register name, sorry, username only. Now you see, we are going to get the state of this particular text box. Okay, so based on that, we are going to validate whether the user is given any values or user not given any values for that. Okay, so for that we are having the special method that is to track the transaction with the forms, to manage the form validations and the user behaviors. So there is a different states. There is a different state. That is a dirty, touched, valid, invalid. Okay, so these are the different states. Okay, so we are going to use that particular state. Before that, I'm just going to create one more properties, that is hash, and then I'm going to give the name for this particular text box, which is going to be a ng model. Okay, done. Okay, so now you see, I'm going to check the state of this particular text box. What are the values which the user is given is valid or not? For that, we having the different types of state. Okay, so first state we are going to say is dirty state. What is a dirty state means? So here, let's see first I will implement and I'm going to explain it. What is dirty state? Okay, so dirty. So here we are going to inject the values, that is username, username dot dirty. Okay, so now I'm going to run this application, then I'm going to explain what the data is going to do. So for that, I'm just going to use ng serve -o, press enter. Okay, so it's already running, I hope. Okay. Okay, so now you see, initially the dirty value is going to be set as false. Okay, so when the user is going to type some values, when the user is going to type some values, it is going to turn as true. Okay, so here you see, after I'm going to type the values, it is going to set it as true. Okay, so initially what the values, the dirty values is going to be set it as false. When the user is going to type any values, then it is going to be set it as true. That is what the dirty values is. Okay, so here we are going to use this state to test the validation. Okay, so now the next one we are going to see is that is touch. Okay, so here touch. Okay, so I'm going to print the values, what the touch method is going to do. So I'm just going to get the reference. We need to use the values which we given on here. Okay, so that is hash username, right? Okay, so I'm going to take this as a reference over here. Okay, so I'm not taking this. So hash username, what is this is, so this creates a local template variable, that is username, which is associated with the form controls. Okay, so which is associated with the form controls and can use it to reference its states in the template. Okay, so what the state of this particular text box, so we are going to get a track of it. Okay, so I'm going to use a touch draw state. This touch state is going to return false initially. Okay, so here you see, I'm just saving this. Okay, so initially it is going to set it as false. Okay, so when the user is touch and went. Okay, so went outside means it is going to return true. That is, user get into this particular text box but not type anything and left to the next text control means it is going to return. Okay, hope you understand what is dirty and touch. Okay, what the dirty is going to do? Dirty is initially going to set it as false. When the user type the value, then only it is going to change the true. Okay, but what the touch is going to do? So if you are going to move into this particular control and without typing, if you are going to move outside or transfer to the other control means it is going to set it as true. Okay, so we are going to use this states to test our input validations. Okay, so the next one we are going to use is persistence. Sorry, the next one we are going to use is touch invalid. Okay, so here I'm just going to write one conditions for this particular text box, that is required. Okay, required. Here the user is going to need to pass the values, or else it is going to throw an error message, right? Okay, so it is not allowed to navigate to the next page. Okay, so that is because it is a required one. User must need to give the values. So here what the valid is going to do, let's test what it is going to do. Username dot valid. Okay, so here you see we said this particular text box is going to be a required one. Okay, so in case the user is not given any values means, so it is going to return. If in case the user is not given any values means it is going to return false. Now you see it is going to return false. Now if the user is going to give any values means then it is going to return true. Okay, so hope you understand what is dirty, what is touch, what is valid, what the dirty is going to do. So if you enter into it and move outside without type anything, okay, so it is going to set as false. But if you enter anything and if you type some values and move outside means it is going to return true. Okay, so that is what the dirt is. What the touch is going to do. So here you get inside this particular control. If you get inside this particular control and navigate out to the next control means it is going to return true. Okay, so what the valid is going to do? Valid is going to return initially false. Okay, so when you're going to type something or and move outside, it is going to return true. Okay, so it's going to check the conditions for this required. Okay, so whether it is user enter the values on this particular text box or not. In case the user enter any values, it is going to return true, right? Then we are going to move to this invalid. What is the invalid is all about? It is work just ulta of valid. Username dot invalid. Okay. So here we are going to check what values we are going to get for the invalid. Okay, so invalid means, so here you see we have set the required conditions for this particular text box. If the user is get inside and not type any values and it is going to exit means it is going to return true. Okay, so here you see if I'm going to type anything, it is going to return false. That is what the invalid is all about. Okay, so now we are going to move to the next one, that is a burst time. Burst time. Okay, so here username dot burst time. Okay, so now for understanding purpose, the what the pristine is going to do. Okay, so we can use this for when you are going to perform the update operation. I'll show you. So what the values we are going to get. Okay, so for this pristine. Okay, so here I'm moving to this TypeScript file. So I'm just going to assign some values for this username. Reggie dot username equal to some values. Vinod Kumar. Okay, so this dot pristine. Oh, sorry, I'm going to assign inside the constructor. Okay, so I'm just going to assign these values when the constructor is get loaded. Here you see defaultly we are having some values on the text boxes in case the user is trying to update the values. So then it is going to set it as false. Initially here you see it is true. So now I'm going to change any values. Now you see the Burstein values is going to be changed to false. Okay, so initially we are having the values. When you try to change anything, then it is going to set it as false. This is what the Burstein is going to do. Let's see in detail in the whiteboard. Here you see what is dirty is going to do. Initially it's going to be set it as false. Okay, so when the user is going to type any values, okay, so then it is going to set it as true. Okay, so here what the touch is. Okay, so initially the touch is going to be a false. Okay, when the user get into that particular control, get into this particular control and not type anything and not type anything and any information and move to the next control means not type any information, move to next control means it is going to return true. Move to next control means is going to return true. Okay, so here you see this is the initial condition. Okay, so what the dirty is going to do? Dirty is going to initially return false. Okay, so now I'm going to type some values. Then you see the dirty values is going to be set it as true. Okay, initially false. Type any values, it is going to return true. Okay, so what the touch is going to do? Okay, so without typing anything, you just get into this control and move to the next control. Means here you see the touch values set it as true. Here you see initially it is going to be false. When the get into this particular control and not type any information and move to the next control means it is going to return true. Then what about the valid is all about? Okay, so valid is going to check the properties which you return on the HTML tag. In here you see in HTML tag we return required, right? Okay, so it is going to check the required or pattern or any min value or max value. Okay, so these are some conditions we are going to write for the particular control, right? So if you are going to write the required for this particular text box means user need to type the values. In case the user is not going to type the values and click the submit button means what will be going to happen? So it will not take you to the next stage, right? So that is what the required is all about. Here it is going to check this. What the valid is going to check is that the conditions which is given on this all these conditions which is given on the particular text box is get satisfied or not. If it is get satisfied, then it is going to return true. Okay, so here you see in our example, we use the required, right? Okay, so that initially it is going to be set it as false. Why? Because we are not type any informations on this particular text box. So once we type the information, it is going to be set return false. Okay, so initially set false. Okay, after user type the information, it check conditions which is bounded to this particular text box for the particular text box. If it is satisfied, return true or else false. Okay, so initially it is going to be set it as false. Okay, so after the user type the information, check the conditions for the particular text box. If it is satisfied, it is going to return true or else false. Okay, so here you see what conditions we set. We said it is required. Okay, so now we are going to move to this particular text box. Here you see initially the valid is going to be false. Okay, so now I'm going to type some information. Now you see it is going to return true. So hope you understand what the valid function is all about. Now, what is the invalid? It is ulta of valid. That is opposite of valid. Initially, it is going to be set it as true. Okay, so by why? Because it is not satisfy this condition. Okay, so because user is not type any informations on the text box. User is not type any informations on the text box so that it is initially set it as true. When the user is going to type information, it is going to be written false. Okay, so here you see, I'm just going to type some information. Initially, it is going to be true. I'm just typing some informations. Now you see, it is going to return false. Okay, now what the pristine is also, what the pristine is going to do. Okay, so here you're going to do any changes. Okay, so initially it is going to be true. Initially, it is going to be true. So when you are going to do any changes on the values or that particular control, it is going to be written false. Okay, so do changes. Okay, so that it is going to return false. Okay, so now you see here we are having some just consider we are do any changes on this pristine is going to return false. Okay, so do the changes, it is going to return false. So this is all about the state which is there in this particular text box. Now we are going to write some other controls also. So here we need to track the error, right? Okay, so for that we are going to use the error. So here I'm going to use username dot errors. Okay, so it's going to return the values in the JSON format. JSON. Okay, so now I'm going to run this program on the browser. Here is it is going to return the error message in the JSON format. So hope you understand what's the different state which is present on the particular controls. Okay, so now in the next upcoming videos, we are going to set how to write the valid conditions, validations control for the particular text box in the next videos. Hope you like this video. Please share this video with your friends. Okay, so in case if you want to give any suggestion, please give your suggestion on the comment box. Don't forget to click the bell button and subscribe button. Thank you. Please share this video with your friends. Thank you.